स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा मृदङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Today's gospel class, I have taken the subject Vedanta, the unifying force of humanity. The prayer that I made just now is the essence of Vedanta. That means we have to get rid of ignorance, which is the cause of all suffering and conflicts we are facing today. So, we have seen how people are constantly in trouble, in some kind of conflicts, and totally disregarding the presence of the Divine Supreme, being totally external in their outlook. So they are quarreling and quarreling, creating violence, hatred, all such negative forces are playing their havoc, which we are seeing today more prominently than before. Even though 2 world wars have been fought, people have not learned a lesson. That shows they are totally ignorant of their inherent spiritual glory. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, I see people who talk about religion constantly quarreling with one another. Hindus, Muslims, Brahmos, Shaktas, Vaishnavas, Shaivas, all quarrel with one another. They have not the intelligence to understand that he who is called Krishna is also Shiva and the primal Shakti, and that it is he again who is called Jesus and Allah. There is only one Rama and he has 1,000 names. Truth is one, only it is called by different names. All people are seeking the same truth. The variance is due to climate, temperament, and name. A lake has many ghats. To take an example, from one ghat, the Hindus take water in jars and call it jal. From another ghat, the Muslims take water in leather bags and call it pani. From a third, The Christians take the same thing and call it water. All laugh. Suppose someone says that the thing is not jal but pani, or that it is not pani but water, or that it is not water but jal. It indeed would be ridiculous. But this very thing is at the root of friction among sects, their misunderstandings and quarrels. This is why people injure and kill one another and shed blood in the name of religion. But this is not good. Everyone is going toward God. They will all realize Him if they have sincerity and longing of heart. So what is most important for all of us to know is that there is oneness of existence. The idea of unity and harmony leading to service is absolutely essential. This is practical Vedanta. And that's what Lord Krishna taught in the Gita, in the 5th chapter. There are many beautiful ideas about equality and unity, samatva or samadhishtitva, samadarshitva. In the Gita and the Upanishads, we have pure Vedanta, namely human unity, harmony, oneness. These are constantly being emphasized in so many ways in all the Upanishads. For example, the 6th verse of the Ishavasya Upanishad says, Yastu sarvani bhutanyatmanyeva nupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijugupsate. Very fine verse in the Isha Upanishad. It says, he who sees the Atman in every being and every being in the Atman will not hate anyone. We are all one. We must cherish this attitude. Physically, the world is getting united. It is becoming global. We are seeing. But mentally and spiritually, it is not. That's why we are seeing so much disharmony in the world. It is Vedanta alone that can bring this unity. It's very important in order to save the humanity, in order to make people live in peace and harmony. It is essential that everyone should be taught the message of Upanishads. They should know what exactly Vedanta means and how it should be applied in their daily life. There is no other philosophy today that can give a soul to the global body of humanity. That's why Swami Vivekananda came at this time when a new age has begun. He brought us Vedanta and left it to us to spread it. But we have to do it more by our lives than by teachings. Both are needed. We should know and we should practice honestly. Life is really more important. I must live Vedanta in my life. That's the idea. Renunciation means giving up all that is unreal. And this body is something unreal. It is only a passing thing. This time you might have been born in America, next time you might be born in Gulf country, or in African country, or in Afghanistan. Who knows? Anywhere you can be born. It's only a passing thing. Millions of cells in the body are dying every minute. It is not our true self. Within this body is the infinite Atman. And I am that. I am that. This is the kind of awareness we have to develop. This is what Sri Ramakrishna came for. He experimented with all aspects of religion, including this great Advaita Vedanta, one without a second. Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, Sri Sharada Devi, have shown this oneness with all. We are not separate. One may be a Christian, one may be a Muslim. It doesn't matter. We are all one. So these great holy persons are examples to inspire us. Whenever we study a text, we should try to assimilate the meaning of that text and develop our character further. The reading of text is done in order to apply it, in order to apply the ideas in our life. The spirit of renunciation and the spirit of service must develop in us from this study, and then only will Vedanta live in us. That's what the world needs today. Our behavior should always be directed towards harmony, peace and goodness. On the basis of Advaita alone can you have love, sympathy and harmony throughout the society. This is the theme of Vivekananda's famous lecture on Vedanta given in Lahore in 1897. Only when we read these lectures 5 or 10 times can we catch the spirit. You have to keep reading and rereading. Every time you read, you understand things better and better. Reading them once, you understand only a little. But if after reading Swamiji's lectures several times, then read the Upanishads, you will find all this there. What beautiful expressions Shankara uses in his commentaries. He begins his commentary on the Kathopanishad. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivaspataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketasecha. To Yama, the god of death, who is a teacher of the knowledge of Brahman, and also to Nachiketas, we offer salutations. Then in the 3rd chapter, he gives a wonderful explanation of the word Gatihi. It is said in the Gita, Yad Gatva Nanivartante Taddhama Paramam Mama. That is my supreme abode, reaching which they do not return. There is a question here. Whenever you go to a place, you can also return. So why does Sri Krishna say there is no return? Shankara explains this in his commentary on the Kathopanishad. He says, Avagatireva gatiriti upacharyate. The word gatihi does not mean going. It means avagatihi, understanding. Understand your infinite nature. There is no going towards the Atman. How can you go to the Atman? He is here, there, everywhere. The word gatihi is only an upachara, a usage. Actually it means understanding or realization of your true self. Shankara gives such a beautiful commentary in fine, simple Sanskrit. You can understand the beauty of it when you are grounded in Swami Vivekananda's lectures. Then only can you enter into this immortal literature. The Upanishads are immortal because they deal with the immortal. Though the Upanishads are immortal, they must be passed on, it must be scattered everywhere. This wonderful message of Vedanta must go to all parts of the world where people are hungry for it. That's why Sri Ramakrishna selected Vivekananda to spread this message of Upanishads, Vedanta, all over the world. And it is our now duty to see how this Vedanta movement becomes very inspiring and active, so that people can live peacefully and harmonious way. People are now beginning to discuss how to restore values in society. There is corruption everywhere, in every department, in every section. Education, politics, administration, everywhere. It has become global. This value erosion has to be stopped. But where do values come from? And a scientist will say that it doesn't come from nature, atoms or molecules, not even from living entities called genes. So far as the body is concerned, it merely consists of a collection of genetic materials. And these genes are selfish. There is a book, The Selfish Gene, written by British biologist Swami Chidananda refers this in his lecture. The idea in it is that if you think only of the body, you will be utterly selfish, because the genes are selfish. Just consider the newspaper reports. A young man gets married and gets a good dowry. Then after some time, he burns his wife. Why? Because then he can get another dowry from another girl. Think of that person's mind. It is entirely controlled by the genetic system. He wants to have more and more, even by killing someone if necessary. Or take, for example, today's politicians. They do many wicked things because they only think of themselves. They come to rule not to serve the people, but to satisfy their own selfish ends. They do not think of the nation or the society. Even a petty clerk in a village will not pay the money due to a villager, though sanctioned by the government, until he is paid $10 as a bribe. Everywhere throughout the country, people have become so low. Everyone says that we should teach values, that values are needed. Biology also says this again and again. Sir Julian Huxley has discussed this in his book and has also raised many questions there. But if you ask people where we get values from, they have no answer. The only system that can show you the source of values is Vedanta. What is that source? It is the infinite Atman, which resides in the hearts of all. Suppose that young man who killed his wife had realized a bit of the Atman manifesting in the body, he would then have had respect for every individual, and such a tragic incident would not have happened. Sri Ramakrishna told a story. Once a father brought 2 mangoes from the market and gave one to each of his 2 sons. The elder son was very clever. He quietly closed the door and ate the mango, and after washing his face, he came outside. But as soon as the second son got the mango, he remembered his friends outside. He went and shared the mango with them. Now, here are 2 different actions and 2 different minds. The first is a genetically controlled mind. The second is free from this control and is expansive. You can see this manifestation of the Atman there. This simple story gives you an idea of what value orientation in human life means. There is a place for others in my thinking. I am not alone. This is the idea. Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda came to change our present situation, and we must become their instruments to help bring about this change. This must be determination in each of us. This must be the determination in each of us to be an instrument of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, to bring this tremendous message of Vedanta to the people, to raise the nation into a nation of healthy individuals, loving and caring for each other. Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda showed us through their own lives how to bring about this change. Their lives and their teachings were both the same. They exemplified their teachings in their lives. For example, Sri Ramakrishna cleaned the latrine of the pariah who lived near Dakshineshwar temple. He went there at night because he would not be allowed to enter there if someone saw him. Why did you do it? He said to the Divine Mother, "Oh Mother, make me forget that I am a superior man, a Brahmin. Make me the servant of all. Never before has anyone done such a thing." All these great ideas are to be found in the lives of these great saints whom we consider to be our pathfinders. So every day we must ask ourselves, am I manifesting the Atman more and more in my life and in my behavior? If you ask yourself this question every day, there will be a tremendous improvement in your character, your energy, and your efficiency. Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji have taught us that if you live Vedanta even fractionally, you will acquire a Vedantic character, Vedantic strength, Vedantic love, and spirit of service. You may read all of Swamiji's works, but you must try to assimilate the teachings and make them part of your life. As Swamiji said, religion is the manifestation of the divinity already in man. The feeling must come, I must manifest the divinity in myself. That is religion. Just as fire, though one, having entered the world, assumes separate forms in respect of different shapes, similarly, the Atman inside all beings, though one, assumes a form in respect of each shape, and yet it is outside. As air, though one, having entered into this world, assumes separate forms in respect of different shapes, similarly the self inside all beings, though one, assumes a form in respect of each shape, and yet it is outside. Just as the sun, which is the eye of the whole world, is not tainted by the ocular and external defects, similarly the self, that is but one in all beings, is not tainted by the sorrows of the world, it being transcendental. Eternal peace is for those and not for others, who are discriminating and who realize in their hearts Him who, being one, the controller and the inner self of all, makes a single form multifarious. Eternal peace is for those and not for others, who are discriminating and who realize in their hearts Him who, being the eternal among the ephemeral, the consciousness among the conscious, alone dispenses the desired objects to many. So, Vedanta is the unifying force of humanity. And it's our paramount duty to make the people know the sublime teaching of Vedanta. It has no conflicts. It doesn't disregard anyone. It respects everyone on equal footing, and all are representatives of the Supreme God Himself. So if we cherish that attitude, then everyone should be duly respected. And the teaching of Vedanta becomes possible in our life when we develop good character, which is very essential. People are not giving much importance to the establishment of character. When the people tend their children, they don't give much importance to the tender mind of the children. They let loose them to go in their own way. But the result is disastrous. Whatever the good things are not given in the younger days, it's very difficult to acquire them when they become older. So this has to be understood by all the family people. First of all, they should establish peace and harmony in the home. Every object, every being, everything in the home is to be worshipped in a respectful way. It should be regarded in a respectful way. With that attitude, mutual cooperation and adjustment will develop, and everything will be really enjoyable. So, Every home should establish this peace and harmony, and then it's possible to establish peace and harmony in the society, then in the country, then in the whole world. It's a long way, but still, whatever best we can do, we should be able to do it and be satisfied about what we have done, and the rest of it, God Himself takes care. If we play our part in God's mission is to love humanity and serve them. That is God's mission. So wherever you are, have that attitude. Respect everyone as God's representative and serve them wholeheartedly, lovingly. That gives you fulfillment in life. That leads you very close to the realization of the supreme truth. And God is so gracious and kind, He will immediately bestow you the cosmic vision of the truth. And people who don't care for these values, who don't care for these spiritual ideas, they destroy themselves, fighting among themselves, killing themselves, just as animals. Once I went to a zoo, somewhere in San Diego. There, I was just watching the wild animals. It was quite nice to see them. Lions were there, tigers were there. I saw about 5-6 lions just lying on the ground and enjoying themselves in their own way. Suddenly they began to fight. That was amazing. Suddenly, without any provocation, they are fighting, giving blows to one another. Just like that we are doing now. People look peaceful and harmless. Suddenly it erupts. Violence, crime, brutal killing. Just like animals we are behaving. So, animal propensity, it's called animal propensity. The more and more you indulge in violence, in fighting, in quarreling, in bitterness, in hatred, that means your animal propensity is so strong, there is no way but to destroy oneself in that process. It kills the man who possesses it. The animal propensity kills a person who possesses it. That's what we are seeing. Well, we should not worry about the things going on in the world. We should pray to God to bring peace and harmony to all the people and try to do our best in trying to spread this message of Vedanta. It is with this idea only we are planning in a very inspiring way to have Sri Ramakrishna Universal Temple to spread this message of Vedanta, disseminating spiritual knowledge, which is lacking. People are not concentrating upon the spiritual ideas, spiritual values. Something they are doing in the name of religion. Too much external, without paying attention to the content, the real content, the real import of religion. Many people offer worship. Whole day through they keep on doing worship. But if you look their personal behavior, they are ghastly. There is no coordination between their spiritual activity and their behavior. Quite opposite. How can that be? That shows something is wanting. Either they have not understood the values properly, or all this worship is done for a selfish end, or they are ignorant of these things. So, Our main work, particularly all our centers, Ramakrishna Mission centers in America and the whole world, is not only to serve humanity, but also to teach them the spiritual essence. So, precept and practice, we must show by our own life. We show them what we teach them. That's why we find lot of relief works, educational activities, and yoga centers have been started by Ramakrishna Mission and doing very well. So, we must think in those lines. Be a fit instrument. Just feel that you are instrument of Sri Ramakrishna, then you will see how wonderfully Sri Ramakrishna's force will work through you. You become a cable through which the current of Sri Ramakrishna flows. That's how we should understand. So, Vedanta is a unifying force of humanity. That's a golden truth. This golden truth has been given to us by Swami Vivekananda, which was given to him by Sri Ramakrishna to save the humanity from all the dangers of materialism. Page 810. The master sat in a small room with devotees. He was completely stripped of his clothes like a 5-year-old child. M. Balram and a few other devotees were in the room. Master said, one can see God's form. One sees God when all upadhis disappear and reasoning stops. Then a man becomes speechless and goes into samadhi. Coming to the theatre, people indulge in all kinds of gossip. But the moment the curtain goes up, all conversation stops. The spectators become fully absorbed in what they see on the stage. I want to tell you something very secret. Why do I love boys like Purna and Narendra so much? Once in a spiritual mood, I felt intense love for Jagannath, love such as a woman feels for her sweetheart. In that mood, I was about to embrace him when I broke my arm. It was then revealed to me, you have assumed this human body. They were established with human beings the relationship of friend, father, mother or son. I now feel for Purna and the other young boys as I once felt for Ramlala. I used to bathe Ramlala, feed him, put him to bed and take him wherever I went. I used to weep for Ramlala. Now I have the same feeling for these young boys. Look at Niranjan. He is not attached to anything. He spends money from his own pocket to take poor patients to the hospital. At the proposal of marriage, he says, goodness, that's the whirlpool of the Vishalakshi. I see him seated on a light. Purna belongs to the realm of the personal God. He was born with an element of Vishnu. Oh, what yearning he has. To Yam, Sri Ramakrishna said, didn't you notice that he looked at you as if you were his spiritual brother, his very own? He said he would visit me again at Captain's house. Narendra belongs to a very high plane, the realm of the absolute. He has a manly nature. So many devotees come here, but there is not one like him. Every now and then I take stock of the devotees. I find that some are like lotuses with 10 petals, some like lotuses with 16 petals, some like lotuses with 100 petals, but among lotuses, Narendra is 1,000-petaled one. Other devotees may be like pots or pitchers, but Narendra is a huge water barrel. Others may be like pools or tanks, but Narendra is a huge reservoir like the Aladar Pukur. Among fish, Narendra is a huge red-eyed carp. Others are like minnows or smelts or sardines. Tarak Tsar of Bulgaria may be called a bass. Narendra is a very big receptacle, one that can hold many things. He is like a bamboo with a big hole, big hollow space inside. Narendra is not under the control of anything. He is not under the control of attachment or sense pleasures. He is like a male pigeon. If you hold a male pigeon by its head, if you hold a male pigeon by its beak, it breaks away from you. But the female pigeon keeps still. Narendra has the nature of a man, so he sits on the right side in a carriage. Bhavanath has a woman's nature, so I make him sit on the other side. I feel great strength when Narendra is with me in a gathering. About 8 o'clock in the morning, Mahendra Mukherjee arrived and saluted the master. Haripada, Tulsi Ram and other devotees arrived one by one and saluted him. Babu Ram was laid up with fever and could not come. Master said to M and the others, "Has not the younger Narain come? Perhaps he thought I had left." To Mukherjee, he said, "How amazing! Even during his boyhood, on returning from school, he cried for God. Is it a small thing to cry for God? He is very intelligent too. He is like a bamboo with a big hollow space inside. All of his mind is fixed on me." Girish Ghosh said to me, "The younger Narain went to Navagopal's house when a kitten was going on. On entering the house, he inquired about you and exclaimed, 'Where is he?' He was totally unconscious of his surroundings and practically walked over the people. He has no fear of his relatives' threats. Sometimes he spends 3 nights at a stretch at Dakshineshwar." Mukherjee said, Hari, who is known as Swami Chidananda, became simply speechless at what you said yesterday. He said to me, "Such wisdom can be found only in the philosophical systems of Sankhya, Yoga and Vedanta. He is no ordinary person." Referring to Sri Ramakrishna, Turiyanji said to Mukherjee. Master said, "But I have never studied Sankhya or Vedanta. Perfect Jnani and perfect Bhakti are one and the same thing. A man reasons, saying, 'Not this, not this,' he rejects the unreal. When his reasoning comes to an end, he attains the knowledge of Brahman. Then he accepts what he rejected before. A man carefully climbs to the roof, rejecting the steps one by one. After reaching the roof, he realizes that the steps are made of the same materials as the roof, namely brick, lime and brick dust. He who is aware of the light is also aware of the low. He who is aware of the high is also aware of the low. After the attainment of knowledge, one looks alike on high and low. While Prahlada dwelt on the plane of the Supreme Reality, he maintained the attitude of 'I am He'. But when he climbed down to the physical plane, he would look on himself as the servant of God. Hanuman also sometimes said, 'I am He'. Sometimes, 'I am the servant of God'. Sometimes, 'I am a part of God'. Why should a man cherish love of God in his heart? How else will he live? How else will he spend his days? To be sure, the ego does not disappear altogether. As long as the part of I persists, one cannot realize 'I am He'. In Samadhi, the ego totally disappears. Then what is remains? Ram Prasad says, "O Mother, when I shall attain knowledge, then you alone will know whether I am good or you are good." As long as I consciousness exists, one should have the attitude of a bhakta. One should not say, "I am God." A man aware of his body should feel that he is not Krishna himself, but his devotee. But if God draws the devotee to himself, then it is different. It is like the master saying to his beloved servant, "Come, take your seat near me. You are the same as I." The waves are part of the Ganges, but the Ganges is not part of the waves. That is Vedanta. Any questions? Do you have? All right. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Own name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with his desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain in tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the free make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.